This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Decisions by the SKAMC must now document more details. Under new guidelines issued by the Kingston and the St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the Building and the Town Planning Committee must have written detailed documentation of all material considerations and reasons for decisions taken in the approval process of each building application, Kingston Mayor Delroy Williams has said. The mayor told a recent meeting of the Building and the Town Planning Committee on January 26 that arising from court cases, the SKAMC attorney-at-law had told the corporation that it was necessary for material considerations outlined by the Building Committee in court cases to be more detailed and comprehensive. The reasons for the committee's decisions have to be stated so that if they are being reviewed 5 years after, you don't have to be guessing, Williams said. He said that it was in the interest of the municipality to use the guidance of the courts to improve our operations. The comprehensive list of material considerations, the lawyer has recommended that the Building Committee take into account and document during the building application process for any development include issues in respect of amenity and safety, traffic, zoning, planning history, history of enforcement, appeal history, resolution of enforcement objections, relevant plans and policies, and the statutory policy guidelines. In the case of the traffic considerations for a development application before the Building Committee, the lawyer suggested that they take into account issues such as the impact on safe road usage and the traffic flow, means of access, proximity to light and corners, and whether street parking would be necessary. The lawyer also suggested that the Building Committee document the comments and the recommendations from the Chief Engineering Officer and the Director of Planning of the SKAMC in review of an application. The comments, recommendations, objections of agencies and government ministries such as the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, NEPA, NWC, Ministry of Health, Mines and Geology, and the grounds and reasons given by the agencies in support of their recommendations should also be documented by the Building Committee, the lawyer stated. Other material considerations such as availability of infrastructure, green space, the current use of adjoining lands, and the impact of the development on adjoining lands should be determined and documented, the lawyer told the SKAMC. Meanwhile, People's National Party Councillor Venetia Phillips told the meeting that rezoning for the municipality was critical and should be looked at. She said that living in the city was different from living in suburban area, and that the Building and the Town Planning Committee's role was not to stifle development. Jamaica Labour Party Councillor Carrie Douglas told the mayor that more collaboration was needed between citizens groups and the planning and engineering departments of the corporation. Too many examples of bad governance, laments Robinson. Opposition lawmaker Julian Robinson is asking persons in the private sector and the civil society to be more vocal about standards for good governance, even as he called for more qualified professionals to make themselves available to serve on public boards. In his keynote address at Thursday's weekly meeting of the Rotary Club of Kingston, Robinson, who is also Member of Parliament for St. Andrews South Eastern, said that such a move could enhance accountability and integrity in governance. We have had, particularly in public sector agencies, too many examples of bad governance, he said, urging Rotarians to let their voices be heard. Noting the passage of the Public Bodies Management and Accountability Regulations in the House last month, Robinson said there was still much work to be done. It doesn't take away from ensuring that we still appoint individuals who have integrity and who are principally committed to serving the public interest versus their own private interest, he said, urging the Rotarians to get on public boards to lend their expertise in various fields to national development. In a wider-ranging address, Robinson also called on the government to ride and whistle as it implements recommendations from the Professor Patterson's report on education reform by also putting remedial classes in various places and providing vocational training for some of the estimated 120,000 students who had suffered significant learning loss because of COVID-19 disruptions in the education sector. He further recommended that diagnostic tests be used to determine the full extent of the learning fallout. We have pretty much moved the students through the system, meaning that if you were in 4th form last year, you would have gone to 5th form without necessarily assessing the extent to which those students have grasped the concepts from their prior years and whether they are really truly equipped to be in the upper grades that they have now moved into, he said. Turning to the pandemic's impact, especially on micro-businesses, the opposition spokesman on finance said that while the government had provided support through the Development Bank of Jamaica and the venture funds had also been put in place, these measures had mainly assisted formal established businesses, which were already able to access grants or equity funding. He charged that many micro-businesses, such as corner shops, which are not on the grid not paying taxes and employed between 1 and 5 persons, have not received the kind of support they need. There has to be an effort to incorporate many of these businesses into the formal system, Robinson said. Noting that tourism had been recovering well, he called for more attention to be paid to agriculture and manufacturing, especially as the global supply chain issues brought these sectors into sharp focus. Hospitalized Clarendon teen reconnects with family. The family of 17-year-old Yannick Grant has made contact with her following a public appeal from the police to locate her relatives. Last week, Wednesday, the Maypen police issued a notice seeking the public's assistance to locate the family of 21-year-old Shanalee Green of Palmer's Cross in Clarendon. The police said that she was admitted at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston 2 weeks ago and was now ready to be discharged. Her sister, Ashika Grant, told the news that the family was unaware that she was in the hospital. "We didn't know that the child was in Victoria Jubilee Hospital because the child wasn't living with us and she did not give the correct name when she was admitted." Ashika said her sister left home a few years ago and at the time her photo was posted to social media platforms as a missing person. She said they subsequently reconnected with Yannick, who indicated that she was in Kingston staying with a friend. "So when we started talking again, the last connection we had with her was in December when she was supposed to come to my birthday and she did not turn up, and we were calling the phone and not getting her, so we assumed something was wrong," Ashika said. After the police issued the public appeal, she said her father left out early Thursday morning to visit Yannick at hospital. "My father, brother, and another sister visited her and take things for her," Ashika shared. Yannick is still in the hospital. She spoke out against online critics who she said wrongfully accused her family of being uncaring. "You see the heap of shame on social media. People nowadays, them don't know nothing. Them don't check the facts and things before them start talk. Them just try criticize people for nothing and say we are wicked." Flight cancellations roll in as air traffic controllers restive. A stickout by air traffic controllers has caused the cancellation of flights by 2 major airlines serving Jamaica and threatens a further disruption to the travel industry if labor restiveness persists. Virgin Atlantic, which was expected to pick up 173 passengers returning to the Heathrow Airport in the United Kingdom Sunday evening from Montego-based Saxor International, and the JetBlue Airways, which was scheduled to arrive from Florida into the tourism capital, were forced to cancel their flights owing to the closure of the airport at 7 p.m. Flight operations will resume at 7 a.m. today, said MBJ Airport's media statement issued Sunday evening. The statement disclosed that air traffic control services would be unavailable after 7 p.m. The action by the controllers started on Saturday, but no flights were affected at either Saxor or the Norman Manley International Airport, which was also affected. It is normal for the controllers to work until 11 p.m., at least at the Saxor International, which gets far more traffic than Norman Manley International Airport. Even one person would be on duty to receive the later flights, a source said, speaking on condition of anonymity. Efforts to get insight into the situation from both the president of the Jamaica Air Traffic Controllers Association, Kurt Solomon, and Nari Williams Singh, Director General of the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, were unsuccessful up to press time. Both men's phones went unanswered. The weekend's action is believed to have stemmed from the fallout in salary negotiations between the government and the controllers, who have been restive since last Friday, warning that they could not guarantee normality at the country's airports. The news quoted Solomon on Friday saying that the air traffic controllers would step up pressure to get an agreement from the government. We wrote to the Director General of the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority just today, immediately after the meeting at the Ministry of Labor, which ended abruptly, with the ministry departing the meeting quite in an unceremonious manner, he said. We advised the Director General of the JCAA that we will be contemplating action over the next few days in pursuit of a resolution of the situation that we have now brewing, he added. Solomon said JATCA had no option but to put its members on alert to take action, which he said means they cannot guarantee normality at any location over this weekend into next week. We will be discussing with our members the most appropriate actions to take, because in such a time as this, we were trying assiduously not to let it come to this, because we understand the situation and the context of the pandemic and the role that is being played by our members, he said. An average of 40 flights arrive daily on weekends during the month of January and more than 50 on Saturdays, mainly from the country's largest source market, the United States. Already, several Jamaican hotels have been feeling the impact of the Level 4 designation by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which has warned the travelers against visiting Jamaica owing to a spike in COVID-19 cases and crime. The sick-out by air traffic controllers could mean even more trouble for the tourism sector. Many of the island's hotels have resorted to cutting rates for February, which is not normal. February has traditionally been among the heaviest travel periods for tourists to Jamaica. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.